Hi all, welcome to day 10 of our 100 days of DevOps journey. So today, let's dig deeper into web servers and what are the use cases they can be used into. So to start, let's quickly recap what a web server is. A web server is a software that receives HTTP requests. It works on application layer. We have learned about the OSI model, and there are 7 layers. So application servers mostly work on application layer, web servers, and it is layer 7. Okay, it receives HTTP requests from client, typically web browsers or and responds by delivering HTML pages. Okay, HTML pages, image, or other content. Mostly they are used for hosting websites like e-commerce website, blogs, and other. So web servers are essentially for hosting these kind of services on internet. Today we are focusing on Apache. Yesterday we have seen the installation of Apache web server. I'll just spin up my machine, VM. Okay. So yeah. So Apache and Nginx, these are the most common web servers that are being used currently in market. So both of them are open source and free to use. So let's just understand. Though Nginx provides some, I think, subscription support also. So let's see what are different use cases. Oh, sorry. Let me check my IP config. Okay, the IP is still same. Okay, so here we are. Mozilla. Where is my Mozilla? Mozilla is very lightweight web browser. So here we go. Yesterday we have created a domain, right? 100 days of DevOps something. 100 days of DevOps.hurry. It is working on HTTP port. This is the protocol that we have set. Oh, sorry, HTTP, not HTTPS. Yeah, okay. So this is the web server, and you can see the logs over here. Get where log Apache, I think. Yes, Apache. Access logs. Okay, so these are the logs. Here you can see I have HTTP 100 days of DevOps. It is showing 404. Something might have gone wrong in this one. Let's check with IP as well. 192.168.1.9. So how would I check? Right now here there is one more command that actually two commands. So it is, we have run the cat command. Okay, let's just run head sorry, yeah, head and this file. So it will show a few lines from the top. Okay, then there is tail command. So it will show last few lines, bottom few lines of the file. Okay, so these commands are very handy. Suppose I have to check, I have to trail this file. Okay, so trail -f, and okay, here you can see, if I just refresh it, okay, you can see the request. You can see the request which is getting through. Okay, if I just run my test page, so you can see over here as well. So that's how it is working. Okay, head and tail command, these are very handy commands when it comes to log fetching and others. So here, this particular file, this particular directory, where/log, okay, it has logs for all the applications, all the softwares which are running in the Linux server. Okay, so just keep it in mind, and whenever you need to troubleshoot anything, you can find everything, all the logs in here, in fact system logs and others. So this is how it is working right now. Okay, my server is running. So yesterday we have seen what are the different, let's recap on that, what are the different type of servers over here. So we have web server, application server. Web server we are discussing today. Application server is similar to web server, but they are more like, their performance is greater, and they can handle complex applications as compared to web servers. Then there are game servers for hosting game engines and their dependencies. Then there are proxy servers. So one of the application of web server, Apache and Nginx, is proxy server also. So we'll check how can we do that. Then there is this database server, file server, FTP. Okay, I have copied file server 2 times, no worries. Okay, then there is this DNS and DHCP servers. So some of the servers are like, we can directly we can configure it. So in DevOps we deal a lot of with cloud based application on internet and others. So let's just see about web servers, how to host a web application, and what are different use cases for that. Okay, so first of all, where did it go? So yeah, let's start with our HTTP server, Apache HTTP server. Okay, first up, let's talk about it, how often. So Apache server is a very old we can say. It came in, I think, 1990s. Okay, and its basic functionality is about its basic functionality is, let's just discuss about Apache first. Wait a minute. So Apache 1995 it came into the market, and Apache is one of the oldest and most widely used web server in the world. Okay, Apache Software Foundation has developed it. It is an open source application. Yeah, so let's begin with what are the different kinds of what we can say servers are available. What are the different kind of uses in which web servers can be use cases in which web servers can be used. So let me explain you first about this proxy. Okay, how does your request work? So proxy is one of the use case where web servers can be used, where web servers can be configured. Suppose this is your laptop. Okay, this is your system. You are connected to some kind of Wi-Fi which is provided by your internet service provider. Okay, a connection which is provided. Suppose you search a domain in your web browser in your system. Okay, so how does this request goes to the internet? First of all, it will go to your internet service provider. Okay, internet service provider. Then if you can right now, if I check, my IP is different. Okay, if config, my IP is, my local IP is different. Okay, this is called my private IP, which is assigned by my web browser Wi-Fi router. Okay, this IP. However, if I go and check my public IP, which is this one, this particular IP is my public IP. Okay, I have searched uh, just you can Google it, my IPv4, my public IPv4. So it will show you this. You can, yeah, my IPv4 I have searched, and the very first website I opened it. What is my IP address? Here you can check. So it is checking right now, and that's how we can see. That's how we can check. Okay, not detected right now. No worries. We can anyway refresh it. Not detected. I got anonymous. Yeah, this is my public IP. Okay, so that's how you can validate it. So on behalf of you, your internet service provider acts as a forward proxy. Okay, and sends request to internet. Here DNS finds the domain, finds the source of that domain, and sends to that particular domain. Here also there is one firewall or something for protection of actual servers. It is called reverse proxy. So reverse proxy collects the request. Okay, and uh, collects the request like a reception desk. Okay, reception desk, it collects the request, go to the dedicated server where this particular website or web app is hosted, and collects the takes the response and give it back to you. So the actual communication are basically between this forward proxy and reverse proxy, and then this reverse proxy send back the response, and through the internet it comes back to our internet service provider or forward proxy, and forward proxy then sends it back to us. So that's how this for the safety and security. So forward proxy and reverse proxy mostly used for security, and it masks our request. So what is happening, how this IP is getting translated to internet service provider, which is called network address translation. Okay, network address translation, that is a process that will look forward. So that happens, and then it provides this IP is changed to ISP IP. Okay, public IP. This private IP is changed to public IP. So network address translation is one of the very core concept that you should know in our cloud computing. Okay, so there are two mostly used web servers, Apache and Nginx. So let's just understand about how Apache server works. What are different use cases in which Apache is currently working. Okay, so Apache server can be used in multiple cases, like we have understood, like proxy. Okay, we have understood it as proxy. Proxy is one of the use cases. We have seen a basic website. We have hosted a basic website and it is running. So this is the very basic web hosting. Okay, so host a static or basic dynamic website on it. So that is one part. Okay, then there is another thing which is called reverse proxy. Reverse proxy acts as an intermediary to forward client request to backend servers. Okay, we have understood this in this particular diagram. So it collects the request on behalf of these servers. If these servers are directly exposed to the internet, they might get attacked. Okay, in case reverse proxy collects the request, and if any attack happens, so only reverse proxy will take the load, and we can spin up another reverse proxy and redirect the request through that only. So that's how it works. So reverse proxy is there. Then there is load balancing. Suppose all these three servers host the same website, and this works as load balancer as well. Here we can use it as load balancer. So load balancer, what load balancer do? Load balancer basically, as it is mentioned in the name, it balances the load. So it distributes the load among these three, or maybe more servers. Okay, so then there is SSL termination. So SSL termination is managed SSL certificate for, like in here if you can see right now, here it is showing not secure. Okay, your web page is not secure, connection not secure. Why is it not secure? Because it is in HTTP. And if I go here, what do you see? HTTPS, connection secure. Okay, connection secure. So that is managed by SSL certificate, SSL or TLS, secured shell, we can say. SSL stands for secured shell, or TLS is for transport layer security. SSL termination. So what will happen at our web server? Okay, this proxy, we can set up SSL certificate. However, behind the scene, behind the scene, the SSLs are not implemented. Okay, SSL certificate are not implemented on this server. So on behalf of these servers, this particular proxy, okay, this particular reverse proxy is used for SSL termination. So that is another use case. Then access control and authentication. So who is accessing, then restrict access of certain resources, or requires user to authentication, that is also done over here. Like HTTPasswd to manage software. Then serving as web application, web applications like PHP, Perl, or Python. So there are multiple web applications that can be hosted. It also used for caching static content, like if you have visited a website and there are particular images, like here, let's just see over here. So this map, okay, this map is showing right now. There are these particular. So if this website is frequented often, okay, this website is visited frequently, so what will happen? It saves the layout of this particular website. Okay, it saves the layout of this particular website, so that the next time when it is used, then you can directly use it without any latency. Okay, first time it might take some time to load, later on it will just clear it. It will load faster from the cache. Cache is stored in the proxy. Okay, proxy server. Then there is this URL rewriting. Suppose I just go over here where it is. Suppose I have added this 100 days of DevOps.hurry and I want to rewrite it. So rewrite it with some kind of www or HTTPS or something like that. So there is this we can do that using the Apache web server. So these are some of the common use cases for Apache web server. Now let's just discuss Nginx. Okay, Nginx web server. And there I'll show you one more thing also. One more thing related to, yeah. So these are the documentation we can use. This particular current version of Apache web server is 2.4. Okay, let me just also check the one that is installed in my system as well. Name directory Apache 2. Let's see, Apache 2 CTL. Yeah, -v. Yes, so my current Apache version is 2.4.41. okay, so this is the current Apache version. You can find the documentation over here. So these are like release note, and there are multiple runtime configuration, devices stopping, restarting. So user guide, getting started, log file, environment variable mapping, SSL TLS encryption, how can we do that, server wide configuration, performance tuning, okay, content caching. So there are various things that virtual host. Let's just see modules. So these are the modules. Okay, and then there is proxy. Okay, proxy load balancer, how to set up. Yes, so these are the proxy balancer, proxy connect, proxy express, multiple use cases for setting up the proxy here. UWSGI, it is a middleware. Okay, middleware gateway. So these are some of the use cases for Apache, and here you can find the documentation over here. So yeah, then moving forward, where are we going? So mostly we have understood how the Apache web server works. Okay, then the next part is the configuration part. So we have understood various use cases for Apache, and let's just discuss some of the pros and cons. So pros are like Apache is open source and free, and even for commercial use, we can anywhere, even if you are hosting a commercial website, you can directly use it in your system. It is reliable and stable software, frequently updates, security patches are available. Okay, flexible due to its modules. So there are multiple modules which are available. So these are like plugins to the for whichever use case you want to use Apache web server, you can directly use this. Okay, then flexible due to module based structure, easy to configure, beginner friendly. Okay, cross platform, so it is cross platform, like Linux or Windows server, both can use it, but I prefer Linux due to the functionality. Optimal deliverability for static file and compatible with programming like PHP, Python, Perl. Multiple different websites can multiple like programming language. It supports multiple programming language like for API, API access and other. It is also, yeah, WordPress sites can also be hosted on this. Then there are huge community. Apache has a vast community. So it is very old web server. It came in 1995, and till since then it is still available in market, and it is vastly used. Huge community is easily available for support and any problem. Now talking about the cons. So cons are mostly performance problem. Okay, if there is a very high traffic of visitors are looking on this website, so Apache mostly Apache fails. Okay, it hosts very simple websites, simple websites. Okay, simple websites or static websites or simple dynamic websites. It is used to host, and too many configuration options lead to security vulnerabilities. Suppose if we have used some of the module and that module has some security vulnerability, so there is that kind of issue comes up. Okay, so what is the alternative for that? Alternative is Nginx. Okay, so here let me open Nginx. So Nginx is also an open source introduction documentation. Nginx is also an open source software, open source application, but it is created. I think it came in 2004. Currently it is yeah, it is celebrating its 20-year anniversary. Okay, great. So it has been 20 years since Nginx came into market, and Nginx is basically to outperform. Is designed to outperform Apache. So these two are currently the most popular web servers right now, and Nginx is mostly used for. So there are multiple use cases in which Nginx has been used. So similar to, like, we'll just go one by one. So Nginx is used for, like, sorry, hosting a simple website. That is the basic purpose. Then there is hosting simple website. Then there is reverse proxy, if we can go directly to this admin guide. So how can Nginx plus basic functionality, load balancer, web server, content cache, it can use for content cache, security control, high availability, mail proxy, dynamic module monitoring. So there are multiple use cases. So reverse proxy, Nginx is frequently used for reverse proxy for distribute request to multiple backend servers. So here let's just go load balancer, mail proxy, security controls. Over here Nginx SSL termination we have seen. Then security for upstream HTTP traffic for upstream servers. So it is for proxy setup. You can see here proxy setup, proxy verification. Okay, then there is load balancing we have seen. So load balancing is very it is useful, very much useful for load balancing, like TCP UDP load balancing, HTTP load balancing. Okay, so there are different kind of load balancers. These TCP UDP are most like transport layer 4 load balancers. Okay, and this is for layer 7 load balancer. Layer 7, we'll understand more about when to use layer 4 and when to use layer 7. Okay, mostly in if you can see, if you are aware of Kubernetes, so this HTTP load balancing for Nginx ingress controller, it is very popular in Kubernetes. So it is used for that purpose. Then there is server static file. So we can set up file servers, content, basic functionality. I think basic functionality, controlling Nginx process runtime, control high availability mail server, content cache, Nginx content caching. So it can be used for that. Then static file server like HTML, CSS, JS, image, video, all kind of files can be used over there. Static content. Okay. Then there is SSL termination we have seen for security purpose. SSL like SSL termination, here it is available. SSL termination, we'll understand what are different types of SSL termination, but here also, SSL termination can most frequently refer to this, like SSL SSL connection is available between here till here. Okay, behind that SSL is not in communication between these two layers. Okay, this particular level and this level. So SSL is not available. So this is called SSL termination. SSL is terminated over here. So we have to set up like public certificate on this particular server, public SSL certificate on this level. So this is SSL, a brief about SSL certification. Content caching we have seen. Then web application firewall is one of the use case over here. Web application firewall also in security itself we can see upstream TCP traffic, securing TCP traffic, authentication base. So there are multiple JWT authentication, TCP upstream, SSL termination, SSL authentication base, access to proxy TCP. There are multiple geographical location, restricting access by geographical location, which is a functionality of web application firewall. Okay. Then API gateway, it is used for API gateway web servers. If we just go Nginx reverse proxy, static content, static content files. Okay, then Nginx plus application gateway. Okay, API gateway, application gateway. So UWSGI, Django, for multiple other kind of API it can be used. So now let's just compare how Apache and Nginx are different. Okay, we have seen some pros and cons of Apache. Let's just see if so. There are Nginx is mostly used for in its performance is higher performance. Okay, it is used for higher performance. For it is very useful in containerization. There are like WAF is one of the major thing that is provided. So security is also been covered in Nginx. Okay, then there is where did it go? Okay, a minute. Here I found something. So Apache server we have seen. So process based spawn a new process per request. Suppose it is so it that's where the if there is a number, if a high volume of requests come, so that's where what happens. It get overwhelmed. Okay, there are multiple process, and every process in the operating system uh, occupies some kind of memory. Okay, event driven handles multiple requests concurrently. Okay, so that's how it is different. It is way faster. Nginx is way faster and reduces load on the operating system. Static content moderate speed in Apache, and with Nginx it is excellent speed it provides. Then dynamic content, strong dynamic content with modules. So since Apache is highly customizable, so dynamic content delivery is very much faster here. Relies on backend. Okay, so Nginx relies on backend because it does not Nginx do not have, it is created for high functionality, a very quick response. So that's why Nginx is used for that. It used behind the scene also. Just a moment. Okay, so then there is customization. Apache is highly customizable. Nginx is less modular but still customizable. Okay, so Nginx is yeah, so customization option is also Apache is highly customizable since there are multiple modules, but that is also compromises its security as well. It is less modular. Nginx does not have multiple plugins, but yeah, it is customizable. There are multiple options. Configuration supports htaccess file for per directory setting. Okay, like there are, if multiple websites are hosted on a particular server, so multiple domains, so we can have we can create htaccess file for each of that domain. Okay, then no htaccess support requires global configuration. So we'll see what is htaccess support in our journey later on. Then load balancing, basic support through modules. Advanced load balancing, Nginx ingress controller is I have told you that it is very useful in Kubernetes. So I have used Nginx in ingress controller and configured it. So load balancing is very great in that. Then there is reverse proxy supported through configuration, but in Nginx it is inbuilt. Okay, we don't have to install any other module or like that. Okay, memory usage, typically higher memory usage since there are multiple processes spawned as per request. Lower memory footprint, good for limited resource, like in containerization. Nginx is that's why Nginx is very much useful for that. Performance better for lower traffic and custom setups, like in internal, we can say internal enterprise network or LAN or small network or small websites, like for blogging websites, static websites. So it is useful for that, and ideal for higher traffic and efficient resource usage. So Nginx is for if you are looking for some multiple load balancing option and everything, so Nginx is your good go. However, if you are looking for some like WordPress website, a small that has limited footprint, okay, limited user footfall, so then Apache is very good for you. So these are the comparison. Let's dig deeper later on. Today I actually have dig deeper later on with the configuration and other options of these two servers, and we'll check. So thank you all. Thanks. Have a nice day.